Okay, these are your instructions for the 5th week of the semester, beginning this Monday, September 20th. Should have had this up at the start of the day, but I'm just getting to it right now, and it's pushing 5 minutes after noon. Okay, better late than never. Okay, if you are in 1301, you have 2 assignments during the week and 1 due at the end of the following weekend. You'll need to take the Chapter 5 quiz and Exam 1. By the end of the weekend, by 11:59 Sunday night, you need to have taken the Identifying and Analyzing Sources quiz. Okay? If you're in 1302, you don't have a chapter quiz, just Exam 1. Reason being, there are 2 more chapter quizzes in 1301 than there are in 1302. So we can't spread them out as much in 1301. So you'll have Exam 1 and Identifying and Analyzing Sources quiz by the end of the weekend. Now, first of all, the exam. My exams, whichever one you're in, 1301 or 2, my exams always begin with a 25-question multiple choice section worth 50 points. Okay? There are 3 option multiple choice questions. They have 3 options out of each one. And they're based on the supplements. If you're in 1301, that's going to be the first 4 chapters of the supplements book, U.S. History 1 Supplements. To wit, it's going to be Pre-Columbian America, Discovery and Exploration, English Colonization, and Life in Colonial America. If you're in 1302, there are 3 chapters involved. The Defeat of the Plains Indians and the Settlement of the Interior West, America in the Gilded Age, and Politics and Political Issues in the Late 19th Century. There's not a lecture video over that. If I thought of it last week, there probably would be one, but it's a relatively short chapter. But there are questions about it. The reason I didn't make a lecture video is because I was still sort of locked into the old paradigm, and I never had time for it. So I just punt that to the supplements. Okay, my exams, as I say, begin with the 25-question multiple choice section. Now, under study materials in Canvas, it's a separate module, you will find major exam multiple choice sections worksheets. This is going to be the one for Exam 1. This is not answers, but it is it's topics. It's a list of topics of things that you would need to know about and have in hand in order to do well on the multiple choice section. As I say, the multiple choice section is worth 50 points, but that doesn't mean each question is worth 2 points. Okay, that would sink some small craft, I'm afraid. So I routinely apply a little formula to your raw score to determine how many points I'm going to award you. And all you need to know about it is you are happy about it. You're happy about it. Okay. Don't ask too many questions. All right. Then there's an essay question. Actually, the exam will present you with 2 choices. Okay? You're going to pick one or the other. It's going to look like you're supposed to answer both. Just answer one. Okay, I'm not at all that happy when I'm grading exams. Don't make me less happy than I already am. So pick your best shot and go for it. You only have to answer one. At the understudy materials, you'll also find an Exam 1, Exam 1 essay prep document. That's what it's going to be called. There's one for each exam. And what they do is point you toward topics that you need to know as much as possible about in order to answer essay questions about those. Now, a little more under the hood stuff about the exams, the multiple choice sections, both courses. The questions will be randomized from a test bank of somewhere between 45 and 50 possible multiple choice questions. Okay? It'll be a random selection. The answers will be scrambled from one person taking it to the next. So it's unlikely that any 2 students will see the same set of questions. If it were on paper, they would be presented to you in approximate chronological format. I can't make Canvas do that. So you'll be hopping around a bit on that. So that's what you're looking at there. The essays, there will be a number of potential essay questions, and Canvas will randomize a choice of 2 essay questions. I try to rig it so that you don't get kind of 2 parallel questions about the same thing. There's a way I can do that. But it'll be choosing those out of a bank of around 4 or 5 possible essay questions that you could see. So the fact that you saw a question doesn't mean that the next person will see the same questions. Now, what I'm looking for on an essay question, an essay answer, is an answer that would reliably inform someone who read it. Okay? Someone who doesn't know anything about this stuff reads the question and reads your answer. Have you given them reliable information? What's reliable? Well, it's true and accurate and covers the question, okay? Without misinformation or guessing or just making up stuff. I've been teaching college classes since, believe it or not, 1973. Not a whole lot of things I have not seen. Don't try to fool me, okay? I know BS when I see it. So be prepared on that. All right. Okay, now, your grade is going to look horrendous. Okay? That's because the grade is assigned by me manually after I've read your essay and given it its award. And by the way, if you get 45 or more points on the essay, I've given you an A. 40 to 44 is a B, and obviously 35 to 39 is a C. And anything below 35, increasingly, I got my Santa Claus suit on. Okay? I blush to admit I actually do have a floor at 25 points, but no attempt, no floor. I don't give points for 0 effort. If there are words on the page, I'll throw you 25 points. If you got some information but you're not sure what it means or how it fits together, that might be somewhere in the 30 to 34 range. All right, so pay no attention to what it tells you. It's also going to say not for grade. What's that about? Of course it's for a grade. But I have to, see, it's going to say it's worth 125 points. It's not. It's worth 100 points. That's because it rates the multiple choice section at 50, and then each essay at 50, and it's going to show you 2 essays and assume that they're both to be read. But I assigned the grade manually. So in the grade book, when you look at your grades, it's going to say Exam 1 GB, in lowercase GB. That stands for grade book. That means that is the final grade that I have assigned you. And chapter quizzes are automatically graded. I don't have to transcribe anything. But when I grade the tests, I write down the grade that I've given you on a sheet of paper, a gradebook page, and then I manually transcribe that into the GB column. So don't panic. Keep your shirt on. It's going to be better than you think. It might not be good, but it'll be better than you think. I do think from what I've seen so far, I've probably an above average bunch of students this time around, and I appreciate that. Okay, updates on current stuff. I've got a fairly impressive stack of worksheets that have come in since I posted those last week. I'm going to be spending the afternoon on those, so you can expect those to be up by a little later today. I routinely send feedback. Okay, I'll send you an email, and it'll tell you how many points you got on each worksheet. Now, it'll tell you which items you missed. If you missed items, I don't tell you what the answers are. You're still supposed to go find those. Okay? Now, some questions will have more than one answer that would technically be correct. So what I do on those is I don't dock you a point or anything. If it has a right answer, it's counted right, but I will advise you as to what answer would be better for study purposes to use in partial preparation for the exam. Okay, mainly for the multiple choice section. It's not comprehensive, it is partial preparation for the exams. There's a lot of almost any topic is knowing the main terms, who was who, what was what, that kind of thing, and that gets you way on down the road. Okay, when I was in the 8th grade, I think I memorized the presidents in order. I think it just went through, JFK, I think, and Kennedy was president at the time. So he's the 35th president. The one we have now is the 46th. Okay. Next week, the week of the 27th, you'll have, whichever you're in, you'll have 2 chapter quizzes. Okay, in 1301, that's going to be 6 and 7. In 1302, it's going to be 22 and 23. So that's coming up. Now remember, the quizzes and exams, one of each for 1301, just the exam for 1302. Those are due by Thursday night. That's based on the fact that a class week was Monday through Thursday, and I guess that's a holdover from the old paradigm. The identifying and analyzing sources quiz, that's not due till Sunday night. Now, I need to tell you about that. It's the first part of your writing project, which is in 2 parts, part 1, part 2. Part 1 consists of this quiz. It also will have the works cited list. We'll read for that bibliography. Do a little later on that will have all the sources that you're provided with, and there's a list of sources that you're provided. I don't think I put it up there yet. I tend to postpone things at the very beginning and then forget about them, but it'll be there. And that will be graded on format, stuff like that. And then thirdly will be your thesis statement and outline. Those 3 things add together to make writing part 1. That's going to be 10% of your final grade. And then on down in probably early December, sometime about the second weekend of November, I'll need to see your final paper. The specifications on that will follow later on. Now, sources. We're talking here about historical documents. So each question will begin or be in reference to an active link. The link will be there where you can click on it and go to a historical document and answer 1 or 2 substantive questions, reading comprehension questions. So it's testing whether you can look at the document and, like looking at it, you don't have to read it ahead and memorize it, looking at it and answering questions about it. One of the questions will always be whether, and perhaps why, it is primary, secondary, or tertiary. Okay, primary. A primary source is a document written by either a participant or an eyewitness to a historical event. A photograph is obviously a primary source. Okay, secondary sources are based on primary sources. Like I read a book a week or 2 ago called Killing Crazy Horse. It was about the interactions between the U.S. Army and the Indians in the late 19th century. It's a very disturbing book. But it would be a secondary source because it's based on primary sources without being one itself. To me, the distinction between secondary and tertiary has always seemed blurry. But if it's an encyclopedia article, like Wikipedia, for example, or if it is a textbook chapter, it is going to be a tertiary source. Okay, this will be graded on a scale of 100. It's not up there yet because I've sent a question to the department chairman to make sure you're not going to see what I see when I look at it. Because when I look at it, I guess it knows I'm a faculty member and it has the answers marked. I've got to make sure that you're going to be seeing a student version of it. Okay, so I think that gets you up to date. When you send me worksheets, look at the file you're sending me, and if it's all real dark and hard to read, that kind of gives me a bad day. So scan them if possible, and I've seen people copying them out by hand or typing them up. You don't have to do that. If you have the ebook, it will let you print 2 pages at a time. So I recommend you do that. Fill those out. You might even get to fill them out on screen. Some people have found a way to do that. But anyway, that's what you're going to do. And send them to me, and I will accept anything from the first unit. Second unit, you're kind of getting ahead of things, but that's only been done once. Okay, thank you. Bye.